All right, so we're taking a look at module 22. And we're at exercise 22-28, which I believe is question 7 on the homework that you're looking at, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so purchase and cash budgets. So what we're trying to do, and let me go ahead and share the screen at this point. And if we're looking at, I'm on page 22-27, which if I scroll down to the bottom. Okay, so we've got a purchase and cash budget we're trying to work on. And we're looking to, let's point that out. And we're told as a cash balance 125, accounts payable 160. Inventory is 78, actual sales May and June are given, and we have budgeted sales for 3 months. 4 months. July, August, September, October. So if we're looking at that, we've got our actual sales here, and then we've got our projections for July, August, September, October. We're told all sales are on credit. We collect 60% cash during the month of sales. So in this case, if we're looking at July, we get 60% of July sales of the 260, 30% during the next month. So we get 30% of the 225 and 10% of the second month. So we get 10% of the 250. That would be the cash collected in July. We do the same thing for August, September, October. We're trying to get a cash budget going. Cost of goods sold are 60% of sales revenue. So 60% of these numbers are the revenues that we are the costs that are the goods sold, which is the inventory we're selling. So inventory is sold at cost. And ending inventory is 1/2 of the next month's predicted cost of sales. So if we have 60% of, say, the 240, we take half of that, and that's the ending inventory we're desiring at the end of July. Does that make sense so far?
Yes, sir.
On the same page, good. The other half of the merchandise is acquired during the month of the sale. All purchases are paid in the month after purchase. Operating costs are estimated at $95,000 a month and are paid during the month incurred. So we want to prepare a cash budget for July, August, and September. All right, so what do we first need to do? Well, we want to project the actual sales and the cost of goods sold. We're going to set up a little table here. I'm going to go ahead and let's see what kind of table we want to set up. I'm going to put a summary in the chat of what we're looking for. And I'm going to actually give you this. Actually, I'll set this up on screen. And if we're looking at, let me start with the table we're going to try to be establishing. So I want to go ahead and look at my simple spreadsheet with these categories. So we have the inventory required based on current sales. We have desired ending inventory, total inventory, less beginning inventory, and determine how much we need to make in purchases. And you'll see that with the asterisk here, when we're going to have our table of sales, we're going to take 60% of that. We're going to take 50% of the following month's cost of sales, and then 50% of the current month's cost of sales, and paid in the following months. So we're going to go ahead and create that spreadsheet for July, August, and September. So how do we do that? Well, let's go make a spreadsheet. How far did you get when you were looking at this? Yeah, you're seeing the proportions we need to worry about, correct?
Can you restate the question?
So how far did you get? So we have the sales for, let's go insert one here. July, August, September. We have sales right now, 260,000, 240,000, 270,000, 275,000. So we sit on the table, we want inventory. Of current sales. Expand that a little bit. Breaking that out, I'm going to take our 60% times the balance, copy that formula throughout. And then we're going to have our total inventory. I'm going to have how much desired ending inventory, that 50% number. Just 50% of the following month's cost of sales. Okay. So if we're looking at that, I'm going to go ahead and take desired ending inventory. And we get percentage. %50 of the following month's cost of sales. So we're going to take 50%. Percent times the following month. And I'm going to copy that through. Then we have total inventory needs. Total of those. And from there, we're going to deduct the beginning inventory. How do we get beginning inventory? What's it tell us?
Uh, 50% of current sales.
50% of the current months. So we're going to take 50% times the current month. Oops. Yep. 0.5. Comma 5, that's my fault. Comma that over there. And from there, we determine what our purchases need to be. So our purchases are going to be based on what?
Purchases will be based on total inventory desired minus beginning inventory.
Correct. So we're going to go ahead and make that calculation. Okay. So we now have it broken out. We know what the purchase need to be. Does that make sense so far?
Yes, sir.
So what do you think the next step might be? Probably want to go in and figure out the cash budget. And we have to go through then I want to take out our cash and see what we need for receipts. See what we need. And I'll put a little table here that we'll make. So our cash budget now looks like something like this. We start with the beginning balance in cash, which is the balance from the previous ending balance from the previous month. And then we take 60% of current sales, 30% of previous sales, 10% of 2 months prior sales. We get total receipts. We add our beginning balance, we get total cash available. And then we pull out our purchases, our operating costs, and our disbursements. And to get an ending cash balance. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go ahead, go in the spreadsheet. So we're gonna have here. Let me do a cash budget here. Start with a cash beginning balance. And we isolate our cash receipts for the 3 months prior. Which is, current month was 60%, I believe. And previous month was 30%. Finally, %. It's nice when we get 100%. Rare, but we're going to budget with 100% of sales 2 months previous. Okay. So we'll subtotal here, total receipts. We'll go ahead and figure out cash available based on beginning balance. Plus receipts. I have cash disbursements. We'll include our purchases, operating costs. All the disbursements. And cash balance pending. Does that make sense so far?
Yes, sir.
So the key is structuring it right and figuring out how these pieces fit together.
Okay,
So now we have to go in and say, well, what's our beginning balance of cash? Are we fed that number somewhere? What's our beginning balance in should tell us.
Oh, 125,000.
125,000?
Yes, sir.
Yep, that's what it says. So let's go ahead and pop that beginning balance in there. Okay, and now let's figure out what our cash receipts look like. So we said our cash receipts are 60% of the current months. So where July is there. Now, we're also fed, we got two other numbers here that I'm gonna pop down the bottom here, just so we have a reference point. We have May sales and June sales. May sales was given at how much?
$250,000,
Cool. And June sales were
$225,000.
good. And we said previous month, we got 30% times previous month is May or June.
May.
Previous month would be June, and then two months prior would be May, right?
Yes, sir.
So we'll do our 30% of that and 10% of May. Okay. So total receipts. Some here. Right. So total available is that amount plus that amount, right? Are we good?
Yes, sir.
All right, cash disbursements now. What were our purchases? Well, calculate that here already. For our total purchases,
150,000.
sounds good. Our total disbursements. I'm sorry, purchases. Let's go by, I did operating costs, that's all right. Let's try that again. Total purchases was select. What are our operating costs? What are we told?
95,000.
1,000. And total disbursements equals, so some of those two. Cash ending balance. Disbursements. So cash balance on the end. How do I get my cash ending balance?
That would be cash available minus total disbursements.
So we get 128.5 as a total. And now we do the same thing and do the analysis for our 30, 60, 90. And let's go ahead. One month prior. 2 months. Let's go down here. 1 month prior here is there. That here. Our 2 months prior. Here. That looks like a reasonable. So you weren't seeing that, but I was going in here and I took my 1 month prior and 2 month prior forms here. So now if I go through, I should be able to copy these. And then cash beginning balance has to be that. It's over. Go over here. Also do this here, copy this over. So in theory, I'm looking at my collections. I'm looking at my disbursements. And I'm getting my totals here. That look reasonable?
Yes, sir, I understand.
Just make sure, I'm just gonna check my math. 25. So there we have our totals and our budget, cash ending balance. We also use this sometimes to determine how much financing we need to get. Right now, we're in the black, we're positive. We have positive cash ending balance. Sometimes you end up with negative ending balances of cash. As a practical matter, sometimes you need to draw on a line of credit or go to the bank and get some totals. So let's go ahead and bounce out of here. Any questions on that?
No, sir.